Hi there, welcome to the Fierce Factor podcast. I'm your host, Kaeli Lindholm. And I think it's time for us women to shift the conversation in business and step into our feminine leadership to do the most iconic work the aesthetic industry has ever seen. Each week, I'll be bringing a powerful dose of strategy, sarcasm, solutions, and sass that will rev up your creativity and ignite your brilliance as you link arms with me along our shared path of personal and professional growth in 20 minutes or less. Let's go. Well, hello there. So thank you for joining me today. I have been really trying to record podcasts, at least solo podcasts that were under 20 minutes. But when I start to create my outlines for these podcasts, I just keep going on in my head. So I will work harder on that. And I apologize in advance if this one, as I record it, ends up being longer than that. But my primary goal is to certainly provide the best quality content for you guys. And I'll make sure that I mix in some quick ones as well for when you have the quick 10 minutes to catch up on something. So today I am bringing a little bit of tough love to you. This topic is needed more and more every day as I work with more and more business leaders who are just uncomfortable operating within a competitive landscape. And look, if you're a high performer, you know who your competitors are. I'm no psychologist, but I think we were conditioned to compete since we were children. Rankings on tests, times in relay races, who gets the bigger ice cream cone. The problem is when we fall back into this way of thinking as adults and business owners, we end up in a cycle of comparison, shame, and paralysis. So looking at other people and using their success or their perceived success to basically shame yourself. And then this turns into a cycle of negative thinking that you're not enough, feeling bad about yourself. And then because you feel bad, you end up not taking progressive action. And then hence the cycle continues. Shame and then paralysis of doing nothing about it. So this topic literally came up at least 4 to 5 times this week. And I don't know, perhaps due to the pressure of the pandemic and just reactivity to stress in all of our businesses right now. And I'm hearing things like, everyone is so competitive out there, or social media has created such a low barrier to entry, and now everyone thinks they're an expert. Well, in some ways, I do agree that this is true. This also presents such an opportunity for the true leaders, the true quality to rise to the top. In fact, I'd like to challenge you to reframe your mindset, to view this saturated market that you feel like you're a victim of to more of a thriving ecosystem. What I've learned is that top performers do not obsess over competition. They stay focused on their path and on their own game. I mean, they feel like they're the best and that they want to beat their personal best. I know when I ran track in high school, we used to look at our numbers and say, did you get a PR? Did you hit your personal record or beat your personal time? And I don't know, maybe growing up as an athlete, that was really where my comfort zone was. It was found inside of a highly competitive landscape. But quite frankly, I've had to teach myself to adapt these skills to my professional life. And I thought it would be helpful to share some of the strategies that I personally use and also consult with my clients on to stay competition aware, but not competition obsessed. So the first thing we need to remember is that it's not just mechanics that lead to success, okay? It all comes down to your mindset. If you view someone in your field or your specialty as being further along than you, don't just look at what they do. Ask the better questions. Why do they do it? What are they thinking about? How are they getting to those results? How are they managing adversity? Okay, a result, it's like a symptom, right? It's like if you get a fever. A fever is just a result of something else. So you don't go to the doctor, or hopefully you don't, as a doctor, prescribe your patient like a diagnosis for a fever, right? It's not like, oh, we got to work on that fever. It's like, what is causing that fever? What is the symptom? So it's the same thing when we're thinking about how we approach our work, right? If you haven't listened to episode 7, Success Incubation, please go back and listen. I talk a lot about the process of progress. It takes time to accomplish a goal. And so much of the result is in the journey, which no one sees. And also know that people achieve what they achieve for their own reasons, and these are not your reasons. I know I look at some people who make way more money than me, have way more clients, or have a bigger presence, and at moments I look at them and say, gosh, I'd like to have that. But then I don't know that I necessarily want the life that they have. So remember, someone else's success, or really it's perceived success, because we don't actually know. Sometimes we're looking at some Joe Schmo that we literally have never met and don't even spend time with. That person and their success has nothing to do with us. So, like the analogy of the racehorses, right? That, are in the Kentucky Derby and they wear those blinders. They have those blinders on. And that's so that they stay focused on their lane. And we need to take a lesson from them. What we really need to do is think about what we actually want. Have you been so busy chasing other people that you forgot? Let's start with our own vision. And then instead, try focusing on these 3 principles. Number 1, competition makes everybody better. It calls for everyone to rise to the calling, to elevate their game. It will call you to up-level the status quo for yourself and your business. It will inspire innovation, and it will differentiate your offer. Embrace it. Number 2, just become the obvious choice for your clients. If you're complaining about your competition, this is a call for you to evaluate your messaging. How are you creating marketing that is making you the obvious choice for your clients? And number 3, think about what is your competitive advantage. Have you done the work to really understand what this is? Do you stand for something? What is the gap in your market? Who is underserved? Right? So when you're thinking about competitive advantage, do you have a practical advantage? So perhaps you're the only one trained in a specific method. Maybe you have a geographic advantage. You're one of the only few in a geographic area that does what you do or of your specialty. And finally, this is where the magic is, but is constantly overlooked and overthought of. You. What is unique about you? Perhaps you have a unique personality or a powerful voice that you're muting or taming because you believe that someone else has more experience or a bigger following or a stronger reputation, and you're waiting for them to speak up. It's time to get uncensored. It's time to unleash that voice and come out and, show the world who you are. And there is a way of being in a competitive landscape, and that is more you. No one can compete with that. So to get kind of tactical, here are the top 5 strategies to position yourself with a competitive edge in your market, okay? So number 1, stop looking at competitive social media accounts, please. Don't let your competition set your strategic agenda, or you will end up looking more like them. Plus, it makes you feel icky, and that's what makes you feel bad in the first place, and get into that trap. So just stop doing it. Just unfollow, stop looking. If you need someone on your team to bring you competitive intel, that's great. Know what's going on. Competition aware, not competition obsessed, okay? Number 2, take more risk in your business. Be willing to get out of your comfort zone. Are you pushing yourself out of your comfort zone? Like maybe making a shift in your business or doing something new or edgy within your existing business. Invest in developing new skills. Our Academy members are constantly being pushed every single day to challenge themselves. And too many people know what to do, but they just aren't doing it right now. This is part of this whole information overload, just an information economy. We're all out seeking more and more information, but go out and do something about it. Make it happen. Don't let those feelings of fear or riskiness hold you back. And this is really going to require a huge mindset shift for you, because the gap between learning and transformation is action. And you may have to just take some messy action and do it and then know that it wasn't really your best and learn from it. We just had an Academy member go live on Facebook for the first time. It's very scary. I'm not going to minimize the scariness of that because I have felt that, but now I've done it so much that I have different fears, but I have created a habit of showing up on camera. So now I can focus more on the message that I'm delivering. So I can focus on getting better. Okay. And that feeds into strategy number 3, which is to have a growth mindset. Remember, if you don't have a growth mindset, you have a fixed mindset. And that just means that you're operating things the way that they are. You're keeping the system going, but you're not thinking every day intentionally about how you can grow. Okay. So just like going live on camera, are you doing that? Right? Number 4, hire a team member that will raise the bar for your team, bring a new creativity and ingenuity into your business. You should, every time you hire someone on your team, be thinking about how to take that business to the next level. Pull up the status quo of your current team members. Bring someone in that has skill sets that outweigh your own, okay? Number 5, spend less time knowing and more time learning. So I encourage you to refocus the energy that you're spending looking at your competition to learning from your customers. How can you better meet their needs? So do you have systems in place to routinely get their feedback and collaboration? And when you're in your competitive zone, it doesn't mean that you have to crush other people. It just means that you're really willing to do the hard work, to roll up your sleeves, pull up the bootstraps, and do your best even when no one's looking. I know the other day I went for a run and it was like, I had to push myself. I had to be like, okay, you're going to go a little longer. There's always a way to make an excuse. Like, I have to hurry back for that meeting, or I'm not going to have enough time to get ready, or I'm not going to make it there. It's like, okay, run faster. Like, you want to get the distance in, run faster. And that was up to me to push myself to do that. Okay. So if you're in a situation where you feel like you are ready to really bring your full self, to step up your messaging, to develop a business model where you will be able to stand out, become differentiated, I'd like to reinforce to you that this comes from actually being differentiated. So let's just take a step back again, focus on you and your pen and your journal and your brain, and think about what it is that you really want. And if you say you want more revenue, what are you willing to do to make that happen? If you want a stronger team, who are you willing to hire? What are you willing to invest to get those things, right? And if you're ready to become a true thought leader who's perceived as peerless in your market, I would love to help you unveil your own unique value proposition and develop a brand that clearly defines your market position and your competitive advantage. This is what's going to elevate your platform to attract the clients who value you for your expertise, and they'll pay you a lot of money. Okay, then you don't have to look at social media or worry about all these Me Too's that are popping up in this low barrier to entry economy. So I would love a chance to work with you if you feel like this is something that you really would benefit from honing in on, or if just you have this thought model of being a little bit concerned, overly concerned about your competition and your ability to scale yourself to a point of becoming peerless in your market. You can schedule a call with me at the link in the show notes or on my website, kaelcconsultants.com. And thank you so much for joining me today. I can't wait to collab with you in the next episode, where I have a very special guest for you that I've specifically asked to come on to talk about how she has leveraged her network and relationships to grow her profile and her position in the market. So it's going to be a really special treat. Thanks so much, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you for joining me for this episode of The Fierce Factor. If you enjoyed the show, please make sure you subscribe so you can automatically get new shows every week. I'd also love it if you left us a review. And come join the conversation online. If you're an aesthetic industry owner, operator, or leader, please join my free Facebook group, The Tribe of Fierce Aesthetic Leaders, a community of ambitious, purpose-driven professionals who collaborate and share best practices for growth in business and life. I'm honored you tuned in.